Hello and welcome to the Kate Gordon Show, today's best country mix. And joining us right here today is Anita Ree. Anita, how you doing today?
I'm great, thanks, Kayden. Good morning, everybody.
It's actually evening here, but it's actually morning where
Of
you are in
course it is.
Australia.
Of course it is. Well, good evening instead.
Well, that works too. All right,
Yeah.
so let's get started. Let's get started by getting to know you a bit and tell us how you got started in music. Can you share a little bit about your story with us?
Yeah, sure. Well, I grew up surrounded by country music. My grandmother and grandfather helped start the first country music club here in Maryborough, and then my parents were involved in that and actually met there. So I guess, it's always been around me in my life. And as a teenager, I decided that I had some songs that I'd like to write and things to say to people about what was happening in Australia and in the bush and things like that. So I started to learn the guitar and write some songs. And yes, and I won a competition in Tamworth, which is, of course, our big country music festival here in January. That was the Bush Balladeers Star Quest at the time. And that was sort of an opportunity for me to travel around Australia singing songs. And it just went from there.
That is incredible. Now you have a brand new song, and I really like the title of the song, by the way, and I want to learn more about it. It's called Australia's Rainfall Army. Tell us more.
Right. Well, here in our local radio station, and I guess it's a little bit of an Australian tradition in the bush to collect the rainfall and record
Okay.
how much rainfall we have in all the different areas. And they use it a lot for planting agriculture and stuff. But for people like me, it's just a bit of an interest that comes from growing up on the farm. Anyway, so the Rainfall Army is a group of people that call in their recorded rainfall to the local radio station on a rainy day in the morning. And it's gone from one person who started doing this at Oddsvold Station, and it's become like a big thing here locally now. And there's nearly 200 members now that call in when it rains, which is amazing. So it's a wonderful little part of our local community.
That is incredible. Now, if people wanted to know more about you and your music, where could they find more information?
I've got my website there, which is anitaree.com. And there's lots of information about myself and my music, and lots of photos of myself on the stage, but also from where I'm from here in Maryborough and where I grew up in the bush there, growing up in the sugarcane and all that sort of thing. Information on my albums, videos, all kinds of stuff.
If you had the opportunity to collaborate with any artist, whether they're with us today or not, who would you choose and why would you choose them?
Oh, it's Steve Earle, actually,
Ooh.
without any hesitation at all, because I've always studied his songwriting and his music, and there's something real special about Steve and the way he goes about what he puts together, and I enjoy listening to him very much, and that would be just great.
Definitely, for sure. Do you have any upcoming singles or tours or anything that you have upcoming that you might be able to share with us today?
Yes, look, a lot of things going on locally here in Maryborough. We have a great little Maryborough market, which is a big tourist straw card, and I sing at that a few times a year. And I've got a few festivals coming up, and lots of songwriting in the pipeline at the moment. So yes, you never know when you might hear something else from me.
That is incredible. Now, what do you like doing outside of music? Do you have any hobbies, interests, anything like that? What's
Oh
good to
yes,
do in Australia?
all kinds of things to do in Australia. Look, I do all kinds of different stuff. I'm a barber by trade.
Okay.
We've got a bit of a farm, so I muck around with a few cows, doing cow things that need to be done. I've got a motorcycle I like to ride occasionally. I do crochet. I'm studying to be a clinical aromatherapist as well as doing the music. I like fishing. There's heaps of stuff to be doing here.
Now,
Thank you.
if you had the opportunity to go anywhere in the world and do a show, where would you go and why would you go
Oh,
there?
goodness me, anywhere in the world? That's a tricky question. Uh, Look, I always say the best place to go and sing songs is somewhere I've never been before. That's That's my pretty standard answer, but somewhere really different to Australia would be great, like oh, I don't know, Alaska or Amsterdam or somewhere that's got some different countryside, up there around where they have the big stampede at Calgary there. That would be great. So yeah, somewhere maybe up in the north where it's cold, above where you are now, perhaps. Sounds pretty
Definitely,
good.
yeah. Actually, it's starting to warm up here, in the last like
Great.
couple of weeks. So, the best time if you
Right.
want to come up when it's cold, which I can send all that to you. That's no problem. We can send that to you.
I
It's
think
so
you I think you
interesting.
probably I think you probably find that what you think is warming up is freezing to me anyway.
Probably.
Our, our winter here is very mild compared to some of the
Mhm.
places around. So, yeah, I think I'd be freezing anything under about 15 or 10 degrees. I get feeling like I'm pretty cold.
Yeah, because you guys have different weather and stuff there. You guys don't really
Yeah,
get snow, I've been
absolutely.
told.
No, no snow where I am. Down further down south, up in the higher mountains in that
Oh, okay.
country, we do, but we don't really get what anyone would call cold here. I whinge about it being cold, but only because I'm from Queensland. It gets sort of. We might get mostly around like 3 or 4 or 5 at night time, and occasionally it sneaks down to 0, but not very often and not for very long. So
Hmm.
we're very lucky here. Our winter days are probably around 18 degrees. So, yeah, we're pretty spoiled here, I have to say. It's one of the great parts about living in this part of Australia is the weather's very, very kind.
Definitely, for sure. Anita, is there anything that I forgot to mention that you would like to mention before we go today?
I don't think so, Kate. And it's been very nice to talk to you all the way from America.
Definitely. And again, I'd like to thank Anita Ree for taking the time to come on the Kayden Gordon Show. Today's Best Country Mix. We definitely appreciate your time and support and would love to have you on the show when you got something new to chat with us about.
That would be fantastic. Thanks so much.